Hello guys, cats and gamers, and welcome back to another video. Before we begin, I would love to remind you guys to please like and subscribe. If we hit 500 subscribers by the end of the year, I will do a special live stream dissecting the game design behind the most disappointing game I have ever played. So stay tuned for that one. And also comment down below because I really want to start a discussion with my videos. But that said, let's get on to the actual topic of this video. And it is a very interesting video indeed, because today we are talking about a kind of a dilemma. Let's say there is a game coming out that you really want to get. Say all of your friends are getting it, or it is a beloved IP that is returning or getting a game for the first time in forever. And yeah, you're really excited for it. But then you find out that the people behind that game are kinda awful. They either, fill the game up with egregious microtransaction or monetization methods. They do something inappropriate maybe, or they don't treat their work as well, or maybe there's something else that you just feel like, I want the game, but I really don't want to support the company behind it. So what do you do in this case? Is there like any option for you? Well, that's exactly what I want to discuss today. And this video is kind of inspired by the Hogwarts Legacy game that PlayStation recently had a state of play, which is kind of a Nintendo Direct style of a video showcase that just talked about the game. And the game seems actually pretty cool. It is a cool single-player adventure. Doesn't have microtransactions. The developer, Portkey Games, seems to be pretty alright. They have previously worked on, I think, only mobile titles for this same IP. And now they are going into like AAA adventure games for consoles. So it seems pretty exciting. So you might be wondering, okay, what's the problem here? Well, Hogwarts Legacy is of course based on the Harry Potter IP. And all of this is basically because of the writer or the creator of the Harry Potter IP, which according to my research is either this British woman called J.K. Rowling, who's also a transphobe, lovely, or it is the Japanese music program Hatsune Miku. Hatsune Miku also created Minecraft. Must be her. Well, on the chance that it is not Hatsune Miku and it is J.K. Rowling, people are quite upset that the person who created a bunch of books from their childhood that are just clearly beloved and people love the Harry Potter franchise and the IP is, a transphobe and spews a lot of hateful stuff on her Twitter and social medias. And people are conflicted on this. They love Harry Potter. They want to buy this new cool Harry Potter game. But they don't want to support the people behind it because some of the money would of course go to J.K. Rowling, the, evil person in this case. And this dilemma is not a new one. We have seen this many times with EA or Activision or Ubisoft. And people don't like how they make games because microtransactions or how they treat their employees. And I think that is pretty fair. So what can you really do about this? Is there any way of going around this? Well, there's a few things I can say to you. And the first advice, if you're just going to watch a little bit of this video, I'm going to just say it straight out. Buy the game used. Buy a physical used copy. That way, the company doesn't get like money out of it. But you can maybe support someone who's just selling off the game and need the money, or maybe even a local game store, which is cool. Support your local game stores. They are always fun. I like going to game stores. And this is you hitting the company where it matters the most for them, which is, of course, money. If you don't buy the game, they won't get like money out of it. And some people are not for this because, you know, they say like support the developers. And that is usually a pretty good thing to say, at least with indie games. Please buy more indie because indie games are wonderful. But here we are talking about stuff like Activision Blizzard or Portkey Games, which is owned by Warner Brothers. So these are big studios. That's not how things really work here. Because with these big companies, the money that they get from like all of the sales and maybe some merchandising, it doesn't go to the developers, no. It goes to like the publishers, the IP owners, the investors, the guys at the top, you know? It doesn't go to like the developers, the QA testers, or the designers like me at, you know, the bottom who actually, you know, do everything. It goes to the top, like a lot of things do in this fun capitalistic system that we live in. So support the developers. I understand where you're coming from. It does apply hopefully with indie games, but with these big companies, that's not really the case. Something else you can do is just voice your opinions online. Keep talking about this issue that is bothering you a lot, whether it is microtransactions or some person or management being hateful or discriminatory. Keep talking about it. Let other people know. And just keep talking about it. If you just talk about it for a few days and get angry and then, you know, stop worrying about it, that gets you nowhere. If you keep talking about it, the company will eventually have to notice you. And they will have to make some sort of a statement and maybe change some things around if they get a lot of negative feedback. Just keep talking about it on their social media, make some videos about it, maybe on YouTube, do some reviews that are not so favorable. So if someone checks out the reviews, they see, oh, a lot of people don't like this, maybe I shouldn't get this game. That works. And that also affects the bottom line, which is for them money. So that is another good thing to do. And the final thing, the third thing I have here as kind of as an advice is just wait a while. Sometimes you're not sure if the game's going to be alright or if it's going to have like loads of monetization stuff or things you find inappropriate maybe. And I would just suggest waiting a few weeks even until like the reviews get in, until people who are like actual fans and the actual players can get their hands on the game and find stuff out about the game, and the public opinion about the game is starting to like form. And why I'm saying this, because one, if you just pre-order it, you're kind of giving them money in advance. And two, sometimes companies do this kind of a nasty thing, which has happened with like recently Gran Turismo 7, is that they give reviewers, like professional reviewers, like journalists and stuff, they give them like a pretty good, solid game. And it doesn't have like any of the microtransactions added in. It doesn't have like maybe online play added in. It's just like the basic things so they can get a feel to the game. And then after release, the company adds all of the nasty stuff like microtransactions or maybe online DRM or something else that's really bothering. And that is kind of a scummy thing to do. So that's why I suggest like waiting a few weeks if you are unsure if a game will be bad or good. And that's just like, these things happen. I kind of understand why they do happen, but at the same time, I hate that the industry is sometimes like this, and a lot of companies do make mistakes, but you should also know like what you're protesting for. Like, I know I'm a big Nintendo fan, if you haven't noticed from my background yet, and Nintendo often does a lot of mistakes with stuff like fan games or how they deal with copyright cease and desist or music online. And people get angry about it, and they are right to get angry about it. But at the same time, I'm not sure if like sometimes not buying the latest one game is like a direct attack at them. They just think, okay, people might not like this game. Make sure if you are talking about these things online, that make sure you are doing this because of that one thing. I'm not sure if this like makes this discussion even more complicated, but that's just how I feel about it. I like when people protest. I like when people voice their opinions, because otherwise the companies would just try to get away with everything. And I always like kinda seeing like big games get review bombed because of like some dumb reason, but at the same time I do know that review bombing and stuff can be used for nefarious uses as well, and people got upset at Last of Us 2 for I don't know what reasons. I think they were kind of dumb. Why that game is just, it's alright, it didn't do anything wrong, but yeah, I do like online protesting. And the most important things, if you leave this video at this moment where I'm just rambling about stuff, the most important things to remember here are buy the game used, because that is a good way of still like getting the game. If you're like having fear of missing out, maybe all of your friends are getting the game, or it's just a beloved game that you kind of want to try, and you know the word is in kind of a bad place, so I do understand why you might want kind of a guilty pleasure. You know it's kind of made by bad people, but you still want the game because it looks fun, and I don't want to take that away from you. If you want to enjoy a game that is, you know, made by some weirdos, just get it. But I recommend buying it used. And then also, if you are disappointed about something, voice your opinions online. And I don't recommend piracy, especially because it can take a lot of time. You know, if something's releasing for like PS5, it might take a few years before that game is, you know, available for piracy and such. So I recommend buying things used and such. But yeah, I have nothing else to say here. I have been rambling for quite a while. So what do you think about this thing? Let me know in the comments down below, not the description. In the last video I called it the description. Don't put things in my description because you shouldn't be able to. Put things in the comments down below. I'm sure I will answer you guys. And I have nothing else to say, so I will just see you guys next time. Bye bye.